Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. It's Tom again. Today we kind of have a different video. This is going to be the second video in a series called the Small YouTuber Spotlight series. Now in the first video I kind of made a joke about interviewing myself as a small YouTuber, but the main purpose of this video is actually pretty serious. I want to help other small YouTube creators out there gain more subs, gain more attention for the hard work that they do. I think there are a lot of small YouTubers out there who pour thousands of hours into their videos and make really good videos, but they don't get the attention they deserve. So guys, today we have a very special guest that I managed to get on the show. His name is Dean Dimarzo, and he has a really cool channel. I hope you like this one, guys, and please support Dean by subscribing to his channel if you guys like his content or what he's talking about. And also, let me know down in the comments down below if you know any other YouTubers who would like to be a part of the show. If you're another YouTuber who wants to be on the show, go ahead and join the Discord down in the description down below and talk to me on there. I even have a small little channel section for the series. Also, guys, if you want to help support the series and support me monetarily, you could go on my VPN tier list and buy a VPN for whatever needs you need, whether torrenting, privacy, or anything like that, and it'll help continue this kind of series grow and grow even bigger. Anyways, guys, let's get into the video. My name's Tom. Thanks for coming on the show here. This is like the first episode that we're doing, so thanks for being like one of the first guests. Definitely appreciate it. Why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction about your channel, or what you make videos about, and maybe how long you've been on YouTube?
Yeah. So I'm Dean Dimarzo. On YouTube, I'm LongestSoloEver, and I've been on YouTube since pretty much the beginning. Started my channel in 2006, so 13 years ago. And that was just like a place to post. I was posting videos on MySpace before that, just like anything I could play guitar on. I posted some lessons and gear reviews and stuff, all kinds of stuff, but it's sort of solidified into just a place to post music from video games. So like metal covers of video game songs and some TV show theme songs and stuff. Basically whatever nostalgic stuff I'm having fun with that week.
So your channel's always been about music. I've looked at some of the videos. How many instruments do you actually play?
That's a good question. I play guitar, bass, drums, and piano. And being able to play piano lets you play anything that can come out of a keyboard, which is nice. Mm-hmm. I've also messed around on flute and saxophone, but those have never showed up on the channel.
Yeah. But in terms of the music and stuff like that, so you've been playing a long time. What made you decide to kind of want to make videos about music specifically? Is it just like you have that passion for music that you just wanted to share with others, or what do you think kind of made you kind of start making content on that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't. I was like 14 at the time, and YouTube like barely existed. There was no way to make money on YouTube at the time, at least not built into it. I'm sure some people were doing sponsorships and stuff early on, but there was no AdSense built into it. There was no partnership program. So I was just having fun, just wanted to post some stuff. I'd always been recording my own music at home because that was easier than trying to get together with enough people to play whatever music I wanted. So I just learned to play everything and threw it all together. And video was the next natural extension of that. I learned how to edit that stuff together, kind of forced iMovie to let me stick two pictures on top of each other, which it was not built to do at the time, and had fun with it.
Do you think like your original reason just for starting YouTube has changed, or you think it's kind of like the same thing? You're just kind of making videos to share with people, just trying to have fun with it, or do you think you've kind of shifted your goal any way along the length of like, what has it been like? You said you started 13 years ago or something like that? Yeah. Yeah, so that's a long time. You've probably had a pretty big changes in your life and everything like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, would I like to make at least a good side income or possibly a full-time income from YouTube? Of course. Definitely. I have some other ventures going on. I have a full-time job also, but yeah, I definitely do want to build YouTube into a full-time income. I have kind of a long-term plan going. Like I said, this channel's been a lot of things. It's been product reviews, it's been guitar lessons, it's been music production lessons. I was writing music for TV shows like pop songs and live streaming the production on here. But what always seemed to stick was the video game music thing. Those are every video I had that blew up was one of those, or like the Fairly Odd Parents theme or something.
Yeah,
so,
I think one of my favorites I saw on your channel was the Terran theme from StarCraft.
Oh,
that
yeah,
just
from
got me
StarCraft?
going. I have really fond memories of that theme.
That's
And then,
the first video game song I posted on this channel, and that was after
it is
being on here for like 10 years.
Well, I saw one of your original. I think like your second video or something was like a Halo theme, or like one of your first ones, right? Wasn't that maybe?
Nope, you're right. Good point.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
point. Forgot about that.
And then I watched one of your. I think it's like, I'm bad with like song names. So it was like "Through Fire and Flames," and you had like a really old like computer, like the like the Wida Nano, like CRT.
I wasn't that old at the time.
Yeah,
that was just a normal computer monitor at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally the first video I posted on YouTube, and that got like 2 million views in its first year.
So is in 1 year, or like how quickly were like the views being generated on that video? Do you remember?
Man, I don't think the analytics go back that far, unfortunately. I do remember it just exploded. It would be 10 or 30,000 views a day at a time.
Oh wow.
And I was like blown away by it, That was right when Guitar Hero had came out. So that was like the guitar song going on, and nobody had really covered it. And I didn't really do a great job of covering it. I could certainly play it better now, but but just the fact that I was the first one to the scene to cover that one. I got lucky with that one, and I kind of rode that success for a while. Just posting random other stuff, some Joe Satriani covers, some just anything I felt like playing. I didn't have a content plan or anything at the time because I didn't know what content was. But I got really lucky with that first one.
Do you ever feel like having, like literally your first video, it being like one of your biggest ones in terms of like the viral and views? Do you ever feel like, just looking back on that, you're like, man, it sucks like having one of my first videos, and then years later I'm producing better content, but it's like you don't always get those hits, Like, did you ever like think about that?
Yeah, for a lot of reasons. I don't regret having a hugely successful first video, obviously.
Right.
But I do think it had a few negative effects. The biggest one was I got about 10,000 subscribers off that right out of the gate. And again, I was 14. I had no idea what to do with it. And those 10,000 subscribers, I didn't really start seriously posting until like 5 years later. So those first 10,000 are like dead subscribers, They're not engaged. They're not up with what I'm currently posting. They're certainly not selected for the video game music audience. So it's really only this second half of subscribers that are really active and useful. So for that reason, it feels like my subscriber count's kind of inflated and I don't know, like kind of fake in a way. But yeah, I wish I'd like maybe steered more in that direction early on and capitalized on those subscribers. I don't know, but I'm perfectly happy with where my channel's at today. So I'm definitely not like super bummed about that.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation talking about subscribers specifically. Since this series is kind of focused on smaller YouTubers, I want to talk a little bit like how important do you think subscribers are? On my channel, I only have around 16K, so I'm even lower on the U. For my channel, I don't think subscribers are super important. A lot of my videos are kind of more for people who wouldn't be subscribers. But do you think, I guess we've talked a little bit about those subscribers you had, but nowadays, what do you think is the relationship with your subscribers? Do you think, you're making content for them. You're trying to get new people into your channel. I guess just how important do you think they are overall to your success of your channel? Or do you shoot more for views? What do you think on that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, especially right now, as in the last year or two, I feel like YouTube shifted their focus as far as what content they serve you. Like the subscription page is no longer the homepage of YouTube. You don't see your subscriptions on the homepage. You see recommendations. So that's become the number one way you get served videos. So for that reason, having a subscriber doesn't really necessarily grant you access to that viewer. If they click the notification bell, that's one thing. And I could certainly be better about recommending that, doing the call to action at the end of the video and everything. I haven't been doing that too well. But in general, yeah, it's views and it's good SEO and it's figuring out whatever gets YouTube to surface your video to new viewers, which is well, for the last year or so, it was watch time percentage was a really big deal with that. How much of your video did they actually stick around for? But from what I've heard this year, it's going to be more this more nebulous statistic of viewership satisfaction, which is probably some combination of like watch time percentage. And I don't know if you've gotten those little pop-up surveys like, are you enjoying this video? That kind of thing. Yeah. They'll throw those in here and there. And I have a feeling that's definitely a big part of what causes them to surface your video versus somebody else's. So in short, I don't think I wouldn't be that surprised if subscribers go away in the next 5 years.
I don't know if I could ever see them going away. I think in some ways, I feel like it's so much of a popularity contest in some ways. It's almost like something on YouTube kind of wants to be there. It's like why else would they be giving people awards for having subscribers if they didn't like kind of want people to, measure the success of a channel?
That's true. Of course. Of course. It's a very clear metric. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for at least my channel, I don't know if it's the best metric. I do think sometimes it is too easy to pass on a channel because they have lower subscribers. It's kind of one reason I wanted to do this series, to kind of show people cool channels like yours. I want to talk a little bit more about like gaming and stuff like that, since you seem to have a pretty good interest in gaming. A lot of your videos are about music and gaming. How much are you into music versus like how much you into video games? Are they like equal, or it's like you're like trying to set time to practice, but you want to play games more? What is that like for you?
It's a good question. So growing up, I didn't get into music until I was like 12. I put it off for so long, and my dad's a musician. He was like, come on, we got a Fender Stratocaster right here.
Oh,
Please
nice.
play this. I was like, no, I want to play video games. I was like really into programming and computer science and stuff. So I was just playing video games up to that point. I played a ton of Sonic the Hedgehog, as you can tell from looking at my channel.
Yeah.
A lot of Halo, just the first 3. I wasn't as big on the last couple. And then just a ridiculous amount of Super Smash Brothers. So those were like the defining games for me growing up. These days, I do still play a lot of games. Not as much because I'm just working and making music so often. But when I do, it's very rarely anything multiplayer. Like I'm not into the Fortnites and the PUBGs going on.
Yeah.
I like a really good single player game that feels really good. So I mean, recently like Doom and Doom Eternal are incredible games. Celeste, I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yep.
I
saw on your channel you did some of
really good platformer.
The Doom songs, right?
Yeah.
You have any plans for doing any of the new music in the new game? Anything in the pipeline?
I did Slayer Gates from the new one.
Oh, you did? Okay, so that is the new one. I get confused because the old one and the new one, they have a lot of similarities.
Oh yeah, it's all the same vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that Doom game though, it's pretty intense for me. It's like I always want to play it, but then I play it for like 10 minutes and I'm just like, that's like a lot to take in. It's the music, the frantic
the
action.
One, Yeah, the mechanics they built it. The first one is a really good run and gun, shoot a bunch of stuff, feels great. The second one became this, and it got a lot of flack for this, but it became a much more complicated like game of chess going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you are, as you're running low on ammo, you got to use the chainsaw or you're dead. If you're, certain enemies come up, you need to start getting glory kills, so you have a blood punch to take down that cyber mancubus.
Right, right.
They like just have this intricate set of systems all feeding into each other that I really enjoy. I love that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I also play like a ton of Minecraft. That's just a fun, relaxing game.
Do you get into like the deep mechanics of it? Are you making like machines in there and stuff?
Crazy redstone builds. Yeah, I'm all about that.
Oh yeah. That's funny. So we could talk a little bit about like what it's like being a smaller YouTuber. Do you think being a smaller YouTuber gives you any more interesting like insights compared to someone who maybe, there are some channels out there that have like 6 or 10 videos and they just, from the beginning, they're pretty much massively successful. I don't know if you've seen the channel like Girlfriend Reviews.
Is it what it sounds like? Like somebody's
It's
girlfriend
like
reviews
somebody's girlfriend kind of reviews the game like from her perspective, like watching her boyfriend play it. It's just
things?
like
From
a
like
channel.
a non-gamer.
Yeah, right. It's just kind of like one of those ideas. You're almost like, oh, that's a pretty good idea, and they just kind of had massive success from the beginning.
Cool.
Hundreds of thousands of views per videos, and they even were so successful. Then a lot of people on Reddit started thinking, like, why are they so successful? It's like fake or something like that. I mean, compared to someone like that, like, do you think you have any interesting perspectives on YouTube? What it's like, just being a smaller creator. Do you have any insight on that?
When you have a life outside of YouTube, you probably have a clearer viewpoint as to what the audience perspective is like on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're in content creation mode 100% of the time, I feel like you could really easily get tunnel vision, maybe lose sight of where your channel's going or of what your audience is interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, the people who are doing YouTube full time are getting their 10,000 hours in a lot sooner. So in that way, they do have a huge advantage in that regard. So I'm sure there's positives to both sides of it.
Do you think it's still possible to, nowadays, like, make YouTube like a full-time job for just like the average person? Do you think it's like something that you think is realistic, or do you think it's just like more something that you just kind of get lucky or something like that? I know the girlfriend reviews, like I was talking about, the guy who had been, or her boyfriend who edits the videos, he's like a full-time video editor. So it's like he kind of came in, with that experience and like that polish that, sometimes videos on YouTube, if they just have good enough quality, they'll get popular. Sometimes it's just luck.
Yeah, those are all elements of it for sure. Luck, production value. I'm a huge believer in good production value. That's a big part of my day job. I work at a music store. I do a lot of the marketing and graphic design for the music store. And so we shoot a ton of videos, a ton of product reviews there. And we're all about just the highest production value we can get there. So yeah, that's a huge part of it. I think if you're going to succeed in YouTube today, I think it's important to say, I don't think your goal should ever be to succeed in YouTube specifically, because that's a platform that can change every day. The algorithm can change. The community guidelines can change. Things like COPPA coming out last year can change things. You should try really hard to be successful as yourself. And YouTube can be one branch of that, and Patreon can be another, and a podcast can be a third one. Maybe if you're in like an educational kind of niche, a paid course could be another one on Teachable. So you got to have as many diverse streams of income as you possibly can. And I do have that going on. Outside of Longest Solo Ever, I mentioned I write music for TV shows. So I've had songs on like MTV and E and stuff. And I also I teach. I do private lessons both online and in person. So I have a few things going on, and one of my next big moves is I'd mentioned how Longest Solo Ever has had a lot of lessons and product reviews on it, but it always feels like it should come back to the video game music thing. Well, I really like making lessons and product reviews, so I'm starting a second channel just for those things.
Okay.
And that's going to be my next big push. As I get through the summer of content, I like to batch produce content in advance for Longest Solo Ever. So I'm working on a whole album now that's going to come out in a few weeks. And as that's getting kind of drip fed out, I'm just going to be ramping up production on my new channel, just focusing on music production education and gear reviews, because affiliate marketing for like Amazon and other places you can buy musical equipment is another huge source of income for me.
Right.
So I'm just trying to go in, I don't want to say I'm trying to go in as many different directions as possible, because I'm not trying to spread myself too thin. I'm just trying to find as many outlets for this one skill that I have as possible.
Yeah, it's a pretty good insight. I think a lot of people, I've seen some channels, I think, that have focused so much on YouTube and just put 3 to 4 years into it, and you could tell that's like the one thing they're concentrating on. But sometimes I think trying other things, other platforms, I think YouTube definitely is probably one of the biggest ones, but I think, like you said, putting some of your effort into kind of other avenues, especially more realistic things sometimes, at work or whatever, I think is a good way to do it. Here on my channel, I actually started out by being a freelance writer. I had a blog, and then my blog kind of died, so I kind of went into YouTube as like another avenue. And so sometimes hopping from thing to thing can be a good thing for sure. I kind of want to wrap it up a little bit here. Maybe we could talk a little bit about what is like your favorite thing about being a YouTuber so far? Is it maybe the comments you get, those really good comments? Is it just the satisfaction of working, some 20 hours on some music video or something like that and being able to show it to your friends? Or is it just being able to look at the memories maybe of all the stuff you've put out there on the internet? And, we talked about those videos 13 years ago. It's pretty crazy to, see yourself that young playing music.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just having an outlet for the music I like to make and the videos I like to make. I grew up playing these video games, loving the music from it, and like I would like literally record the music from Sonic the Hedgehog and listen back to it on tape, just like that was the music I listened to. And my parents thought it was completely insane. And now I literally get to make money playing that ridiculous music. So that's huge for me, having this outlet and finding other people who are into that same music and into these same things.
All right, guys. So that's Dean Dimarzo. You could find him at LongestSoloEver. You said you're going to be starting that new channel as well. I'll be putting your channel in the description if you guys want to check him out. Yeah, so thanks for coming on the show, Dean. Just a kind of a short, quick one about some of your interests, what you think of YouTube. Yeah, so thanks for coming on and being the guest.
Thanks for having me. That was a lot of fun.